Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is leading in 3 important swing states. The latest Quinnipiac University poll shows the Democratic nominee up double digits in Colorado and Virginia.
She's also edging Trump in Iowa, though her lead is within the margin of error there. However, a different poll shows Donald Trump beating Clinton by 11 points in Indiana, another key battleground state.
Nancy Cordes has been following the Clinton campaign, and she comes to us from Washington. Nancy, we see Clinton is enjoying leads in several swing states. She's also leading nationally. Things are looking pretty good for her. So moving forward, how does she ignite passion? How does she convince her supporters, her volunteers, and her donors, most importantly, that the race is not a done deal? It's not over yet.
She does it, Anne-Marie, by trying to convince them that the race is actually much closer than it appears, because it is a concern that any campaign has when they're way ahead. And let's face it, there are worse problems out there. But you do worry that sort of complacency will set in and people will think, oh, well, she doesn't need my vote on Election Day, or she doesn't need me to go out and canvass and register voters, or she doesn't need me to send in donations because she is so far ahead. But history shows us that stranger things have happened. Back in 1988, for example, Michael Dukakis, by some measures, was leading by 17 points in the summer before the presidential election, and then George H.W. Bush, as we all know, was the victor. And so on the campaign trail, you hear Hillary Clinton and her running mate Tim Kaine repeatedly saying things like, look, we're the underdogs until we're the winner. Look, we think this race is going to be very, very close. These are the kinds of things that they need to say to the people who back them to keep them engaged and focused on this race.
Yeah. The Clinton campaign, they have come out with a new ad. This one is slamming Trump on his tax returns. Let's play a little of it.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
If I decide to run for office, I'll produce my tax returns, absolutely.
What is your tax rate?
It's none of your business.
The evidence suggests that he pays very, very low taxes indeed, and possibly pretty much nothing.
Perhaps one more reason why we're not seeing his tax returns, because he is deeply involved in dealing with Russian oligarchs.
Either he's not anywhere near as wealthy as he says he is, or there's a bombshell in Donald Trump's taxes.
All right, so this is an issue that the campaign brings up pretty much almost every day. So why do you think they keep sort of hammering this point?
For a couple of reasons. First of all, because he continues to tout his business record as one of the reasons that people should hire him to be president of the United States. And yet, sort of a fundamental measure of your business background is what do your tax returns look like? And the Clinton campaign believes that his unwillingness to put those forward shows that either he's hiding something, as you heard Mitt Romney say in that ad, or that he's embarrassed by something in his tax returns, or that perhaps he didn't pay any taxes, which they know would turn off a lot of Americans. And beyond that, they just feel that it's another example of Donald Trump not participating in some of the rites of passage of any presidential candidate, because this is a tradition that dates back decades that presidential candidates put out their tax returns.
Yeah. We have noticed, though, since Hillary Clinton announced that Tim Kaine was her running mate, that the two have been getting along swimmingly. They are playing their roles as to be expected. But very recently, the Daily Beast actually found a quote from Tim Kaine from 2002, where he said that he thought President Bill Clinton should have resigned after the Monica Lewinsky scandal. This is a topic that I'm sure Hillary Clinton would prefer not come up, but, you know, expected to come up in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps not like this, though.
Right. I mean, that's kind of an awkward dinner conversation, right? Ooh, did I forget to mention that I thought your husband should have stepped down as president of the United States? But the interesting thing, Anne-Marie, was that when Kaine was asked about that quote from 2002, he didn't try to deny it. He said, yeah, that is how I felt after the Monica Lewinsky scandal. But you know what? That was 20 years ago. And 20 years later, I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on this race, and I'm focused on creating jobs and all the rest. And in a way, that was kind of unusual for this presidential campaign, to have a candidate admit that they have changed their mind. Over and over again, we see some of these other candidates insisting, what, nothing's changed? No, it's, I haven't made a 180. I've always felt this way, which flies often directly in the face of the facts. And, here Kaine is owning up to it, saying, yeah, I did feel that way, and a lot of other people, frankly, did too. But 2 decades later, he says he's kind of gotten over it.
Nancy Cordes in Washington. Thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.